Welcome to Virtual Gardening 101. This is a place where we dig into the digital soil and reap real results. I want to thank you for joining me for another interesting feature. Welcome to another gardening feature. This is your first time. I say thank you for coming over to Virtual Gardening 101, and special thanks to those who have subscribed to the channel recently. In today's feature, you're going to see how I will be grooming this shapeless Duranta shrub into a nice topiary. I've been working on this for quite a long time. I can't even remember, but I know it has been a number of years before the pandemic came. Earlier this year, I contemplated cutting it down because it had lost a lot of the foliage or the leaves, especially at the top, and it really didn't look appealing for the position it is currently occupying in the yard. I'm really happy that I never got around to, cutting it down, because I would not have known it could have made such a dramatic turnaround. It seems the wonderful showers of rain that we got towards the end of April coming into May has done a lot for it. And the lesson that I have learned from this experience is, as gardeners, we really need to exercise some kind of patience with our plants. This grooming is long overdue because I never really allow my topiaries to get to this stage and not groom them, because sometimes it becomes very difficult to get them back into shape whenever you allow them to grow out to a certain dimension. If you want to see how it turns out, then you gotta watch a feature to the end in order to see how it looks. Before I get into, showing you what I'll be doing, I want to share a little bit of information that I have researched on this plant. Because the purpose of this channel, is to provide information so that, persons who come here can learn a lot. And so, this particular species of Duranta that I'm focusing on here is Duranta Erecta, and it is a species of flowering shrub in the Verbinia family or the Verbinaceae family, and it is native from Mexico to South America as well as the Caribbean. It is widely cultivated as an ornamental plant in tropical and subtropical gardens, and it is used as a hedge, a border, and in this case I'm using it as a topiary. And it has become naturalized in many places. I've seen it, and I'm talking about the yellow species now, growing a lot in Africa, and I say Kenya to be exact because of the Kenyan YouTube content that I've been watching from that side of the continent. And it is said to be an invasive species in Australia. Now, the genus name is in honor of Castore Durante, and he is a 15th century Italian botanist. Duranta goes by the following common names: golden dewdrops, pigeon berry, as well as skyflower. And all the names that have been given, by looking at the pictures you can see why. Really a beautiful plant. Based on my experience, Duranta responds very well to grooming, and I would consider it to be a hardy plant, and it can be easily trim and shape into, various geometrical shapes. And that is one of the reasons why I wanted to experiment with it for quite a long time, and I'm really happy that I took the step to give it a try. The yellow variety, which is called Sheena's Gold, is widely used. As I mentioned earlier, it is used as a border and hedge in gardens and commercial spaces because it adds color and character to the places in which they are, where it is cultivated rather. It also adds curve appeal to pathways as well as walkways. And if you have an area in your yard that you'd really need to, brighten up, this is a very good plant to use. And yes, whether it is in the yellowish form or the green, because once you shape it, it's going to create an appealing look, I would say. Be mindful that the Duranta requires full sun, and based on my experience, some of the major challenges come with the different types of pests that affect this plant. And the first one is white flies. You normally see the white flies on the underside of the leaf, and most times it looks very powdery or dusty. But unless you shake the leaf, then you won't see the flies coming off. And you can know that the plant is affected by white flies because there's a high possibility that you're going to see a black coating on the surface of the leaf that is called sooty mold. The second pest that affect Duranta, you have scale insects, and these are sucking insects. I've also noticed that Durantas tend to be affected a lot by leaf spots, and I'm not sure what is the cause for the leaf spots based on the pictures that I'm showing, but the yellow variety, it tends to be very predominant. The green is affected by leaf spot, but that kind of spotting is somewhat kind of different. But other than these, Duranta is really a resilient plant, and I've learned this from the experience of not, cutting down the one that I had. And so, stick around and enjoy the short clip that I have provided. You can see exactly how I've managed to get this Duranta back into, shape. This is a simple topiary, and so it doesn't require any technical skills, to actually achieve a topiary of this nature. Some people actually use wireframes and they place it over the plant, so it may be a shrub or a tree, and as it goes, then they clip, and after they would have achieved that shape, then they can always remove the wireframes. But all of the topiaries that I've featured, not all of them are mine, and but I normally I go freestyle, and I find it's very easy to do it that way. And a simple task of this nature require a regular hedge shear, a bypass pruner, or what some people call a cicature. And depending on the size of the topiaries that I'm doing, because I have some topiaries that are taller than I am, and I find it very easy to use a machete. In Jamaica we say machete. I just love, to talk the Jamaican. Yes. And I find that when I use a machete, I tend to go very fast, and it's easy. But you gotta know how to use it. There's a little skill with it, and you gotta be very careful, because you can actually damage the tree or the shrub in the process. So you can only use it at certain places, and you got to make sure that your tools are sharp. It is often said that a bad workman quarrels with his tools. So in order to get the best result, you got to make sure that your tools are sharp. And I've seen videos where they are using those battery powered machines to cut those evergreen trees. I wish I could get to that stage, but for now I'm quite comfortable using these tools to get the job done. I want to thank you for taking the time out to come over to Virtual Gardening 101, the place where we dig into the digital soil and reap real results. This is a new channel, and I'd really appreciate it if you could give it some support by, first of all, liking the content and sharing it with somebody, because the aim is to bring about awareness. I welcome your feedback in the comment section, and you could give the channel a further boost by subscribing as well. Once again, I want to say thank you for stopping by, and I'll catch you in another one.